All right, guys, good morning. It's Bernard Nomberg, and it is another weekly episode of Nomberg Law Live. I want to welcome everybody to another one of our Tuesday shows. As we try to each week, we bring interesting conversations with people in their areas of expertise. And I'm so pleased to have longtime friend from Atlanta, Randy Rubenstein, with Three Dog Liquidation with me today. Randy, good to see you, bud.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And the reason why I brought on Randy today for our show is we're talking about e-commerce, and the pandemic has certainly changed the world of e-commerce. And his business partner Larry Costin and he have created Three Dog Liquidation out of Atlanta. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Randy, to talk about the concept. Where did the name come from? And we'll just go from there.
Sure, no problem. I was in the corporate world for 20 years. I think like a lot of people, I've got an entrepreneurial spirit and wanted to do my own thing for a while. And then when the pandemic hit, I was graciously asked to step away from my role in the corporate world, like a lot of people. And so that kind of gave me the push to start this. And it really started by accident, like a lot of good things and like a lot of businesses. I had a contact from my previous corporate world where they were a client of mine that was in the watch business. And he kind of caught up with me, see what I was doing. Same with him. Long story short, he said, "Hey, I've got these watches that are showroom samples. I really can't sell them because of the channel that I'm in. Would you be interested in maybe purchasing a couple?" And he said that because he knew I was sort of a amateur watch collector. So I brought in a couple of them, wore them for a little bit, but then I was like, "Hey, see if I could sell them." So I put them on eBay, sold them literally. Didn't do an auction. I just put them up there, buy now, sold them within an hour, and was kind of like, wow, okay, start scratching my head, and then got some more watches from them. And that sort of led into, this was in, around September, or actually a little bit before that, and really started selling a lot of these watches, and that morphed into, okay, well, what else can I do? And that's when I kind of reached out to Larry and said, I've made a couple other calls from previous relationships I had, and they had a lot of merchandise that was excess inventory. It was kind of primed to be sold. They needed people to bring it in and to sell it in trusted channels. And that's really how it was born. So it went from me just selling a few watches to us, kind of having a full-blown, in a very short amount of time, full-blown e-commerce site.
Yeah, that I have just a little bit of experience with that. I still actively collect baseball cards, as you know,
Yeah.
and I have bought many cards through eBay. I've sold a few through eBay. Kind of got frustrated with the different requirements that eBay makes you jump through the hoops. But I have seen, at least in that world, how in the past almost year now, 10 months or so, how that world has exploded. And before we get into how the pandemic has affected e-commerce, talk about Three Dog. Where does the name come from? Because I think it's a pretty cool name.
So what happened was, I wish there really was an amazing story behind it, but the true story is, when I was doing this, I was just doing it as an individual. And so when Larry came on board, we were like, actually, we probably need a company name. So at the time, I was like, well, what are we going to call it? What are we going to call it? I was filling out the paperwork, and my wife and I are big into dog rescue. So we have 3 dogs of our own. They happen to be in my home office eating something. I don't know. They're just, messing around. So I had the form in front of me, and I was like, all right, three dog liquidation. And that was born and had a logo made. And unfortunately, the name was sort of conceived before Larry 100% came on board. He has 2 dogs, so it technically should be 5 dog, but we're going to stick for 3 dog right now. Yeah.
Well, as long as you continue, I'll proudly
Absolutely.
accept the 3 dog logo.
Sure.
But
Sure.
Larry, let's talk about where you are now, and then backtrack to how you got there. So
Sure.
where can people find 3 dog? Talk a little bit about the concept of what you guys are currently doing, and where do you think you're going with this at this point?
Sure. So our concept was, okay, we're going to bring some stuff in, test categories to see what really moves, where the interest is. And that was going to be done through eBay. And then we were going to develop and still are developing our own website and sort of e-commerce presence away from eBay, but still have some stuff on eBay as well. The good problem that we've had, as I mentioned to you earlier, is that we really right now have been selling so well that of the merchandise that we've brought in, that we do not have enough of an inventory to put on our own e-commerce site. Wow. Now we're rectifying that, and after the first of the year, that'll change. But right now, you know, a lot of times we're not really sure the quantities and stuff we're going to be able to bring in because of the nature of the business. But we're mainly selling through eBay right now under the 3 dog liquidation tag. That there will be, by the end of the week, will be a link on our website that will take you straight there. And we're doing some other things to help people find us. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I put the website link in the show notes.
Great.
So okay. Want to go check out the company. Larry, Randy, how do you guys figure out what's going to be your next inventory? How do you narrow down to where you want to head next in the e-commerce world?
Sure. So we're a little different than a lot of other, let's call it liquidation or excess inventory companies. We've been very fortunate through some relationships that I've had and some others that we've gained, you know, fairly recently, that we just don't bring anything in. We don't necessarily look at, okay, it's $2, we can sell it. Our big thing is we want to make sure it's new. So most of the stuff that we bring in are from retailers like Pottery Barn, Bed Bath and Beyond, you know, companies like that, where there's nothing wrong with the product at all. It's either a product that they discontinued, they didn't have the shelf space. An example is we brought in a bunch of Masterbuilt smokers from Sam's Club. Boxes have never been opened. It's a $300 plus retail item, but it was a seasonal item for Sam's Club. And part of their vendor agreement is that if whatever they don't sell, they have right and refusal to do what they want with the merchandise. So they let it hit the liquidation market. So we bring those in and sell them. So it's prime merchandise, prime items. But we have very strict criteria of, you know, we try, you know, 99% of what we do is new. The other 1% is sort of a store return, but we try to inspect it. As far as categories go, outside of that smoker, we've done really well with what I kind of call home, which is not so much decor, but a lot of bedding, a lot of kitchen items, stuff that is more of everyday use than necessarily gifting items. But that doesn't mean that we're not wide open to all sorts of different categories that we're looking into. And in fact, I don't want to announce it right now, but at the beginning of the year, we are going to have the opportunity to bring in some really big name merchandise in the apparel world that is just excess inventory that we've been approached because they like our channel and I guess, for lack of a better term, trust how we are going to bring that merchandise to market.
So it's such an interesting concept in that in all of our towns, we have these, I'll call them liquidation brick and mortar stores.
Correct.
where you go into the store and you think that, well, these are quality items from X, Y, or Z retailers. They may or may not have a little damage to them, but they're all marked down and you think you're getting bargains, but it's brick and mortar. But Three Dog has no brick and mortar, correct?
Correct. We have no brick and mortar. That it's been kicked around. One of the main reasons why we've not really pursued it is because of the pandemic, for obvious reasons. We don't want to put ourselves or anyone else at risk for that. And not to say that down the road we won't pursue that, but right now, this sort of the market is dictating how we're selling, and we're very pleased with it. It helps with overhead. It hopes, there's a lot of pluses of brick and mortar, but there's also a lot of negatives.
Well, Randy, does Three Dog require any type of a membership, a paid membership, to be able to purchase through your company?
No, not at all. It's open to the public. There is no membership. It's we kind of like to say it's first come, first serve. We could get volume of certain items, and others we might just get one off. We have a lot of people that are constantly asking us, is there a specific time you put up your merchandise? There's not. It's really kind of when we bring it in, we list it. But we've got a lot of repeat customers, and knock on wood, we're very pleased where we've not had any complaints and not had any return merchandise. So
very good. Well, guys, I'm talking with Randy Rubenstein from Atlanta with Three Dog Liquidation. We're talking about how his new company with Larry Costin, is a strictly e-commerce based company, no brick and mortar, all through the internet. And I know enough about eBay to be dangerous to myself. I certainly don't want to share any of my misinformation to others. But Randy, if folks want to find you guys on eBay and maybe I know on eBay for sellers, if I'm a buyer and I want to see the next items that are coming from a particular seller's eBay store, you can set alerts. You can set notifications to let you know. Do you know, is that something that Three Dog do they offer that on their eBay location?
We do. We absolutely do. And then we actually have people, both from us and from the people that have bought from us and repeat customers, they've set up categories. They've set up brand names. So an example is we have been fortunate to receive a lot of UGG merchandise. Mm-hmm. So not the shoes, but they make a line of bedding products. Very, very high-end bedding products that we've done very well with that have a big following out there. So because of that, people have set alerts for that. As soon as it's posted, it hits them, and then they're able to find that and make a quick purchase before it's gone.
I was going to ask you, give some recent items that you guys have sold or that may be available for selling for now.
Sure. So when we receive our items, we buy them in pallets. It's not like we receive a box. We receive big shipping pallets. Trucking companies drop them off. They have to be sorted, but they're usually within categories. Mm-hmm. So we've recently done very well within the baby space. Mm-hmm. So everything from baby jogger attachments for really high-end strollers to baby carriers, that you see people out exercising with, to bottle warmers, stuff like that. But then recently we've gotten in a lot of stuff from Pottery Barn that's doing well. Shower curtains, stuff like that. But the one that Larry and I laugh about that we have done incredibly well with is it's a hair turban. So as you can see, I really have no need for the hair turban, unfortunately. But I guess it's a product where when people get out of the shower, it's a quick drying, absorbs the water, very popular. Larry and I had no clue, but we're selling them like crazy. So that's an example of, okay, well, we know we've done very well with those. So I've reached out directly to the manufacturer again to say, hey, look, we'd like to bring more of these in. Let us know when you have some more in inventory that you're going to get rid of. These particular ones were excess inventory from a seasonal display within Bed Bath & Beyond.
So you really, from week to week or month to month, you're really not sure what your next inventory is going to be.
No, well, so we're trying. We've got it down a little bit to a science of what we know we can sell, and then we're still taking chances on stuff that we're like, okay, well, we may get stuck with it for a little bit, but we can discount it. But the funny thing is, the stuff, like everything sells, and which is a great problem for us. An example of that is a lot of times they'll put in stuff in the pallet that we're not really sure why it's in there. An example of it was like a little round drain cover like this that literally looked like that somebody found in their house. That you don't know, like, okay, what's going on with that? Well, lo and behold, someone purchased that. So it's it was brand new. It was for sale, and I think this one came from I think it was Bed Bath & Beyond as well. But somebody had a need. We had the right price point, and then we were able to ship it out to them. One of the things that makes us a little different too is that because we have pretty lean overhead, and we have really streamlined our purchasing, is that it is most of our stuff at a certain price point we ship for free. We don't charge shipping.
Well, you're leading me to where I was headed with my next. I don't want you to give away the secret sauce, but how do you figure what's the right price point with so many varied items out there that you guys may be offering in your for sale?
So I would say, so my partner Larry is really an expert with that. So Larry still does, but he has a ticket broker company. I'll give a shout out to Take Me Out Tickets online. And the pandemic really devastated his business for obvious reasons. There are no events to buy tickets for. So that was one of the main reasons why Larry, came on board. But to go back to your question, Larry is really an e-commerce guru when it comes to that, and does a great job with setting our price points. It's a lot of research. There's some guides out there, a lot through eBay as well, that'll help you, figure out where to price it. We're not looking to be the cheapest. We're not looking to be the most expensive. We're looking to be, kind of right in the middle to offer value. But to, go back to what I said before, is that, as a liquidation company, we're a little different because I like to say we provide a little bit higher end product. Not that the other ones don't, but it's not going to be a random pair of underwear that's just on there that kind of fell off a truck. That's just not the direction that we go to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, what about, Randy? What if the item is damaged or it's not advertised as it was held out to be? What type of returns policy does Three Dog offer?
So right now we don't, because of the type of business we are in, because the price points that we offer, we don't offer returns. It hasn't been a problem so far. Now, if something gets damaged in transit or something like that, of course, we definitely will make the customer right. But as far as the client not liking the item or something like that, we have no return policy. And because of the nature of the business, it really has to be that way. We can't worry about call tags on bringing stuff back and shipping and stuff like that. It won't allow us to offer the products at the price points that we want to.
Gotcha. Well, I know that this company, this business is fairly new. It's not a year old in it being live. Where do you see e-commerce? Where do you see this going? Because it's just, if anybody gets on eBay, it looks like you can order and purchase, or at least bid upon, almost any consumer product that's out there. You name it, it's going to be out there. Do you think it's too crowded of a market? Or on the other hand, are we just scratching the surface with e-commerce, with this type of business that you're doing?
I think that it's just scratching the surface, and it is too crowded, but I think it's too crowded in a broad sense. And where I think it's going is that I think you're going to start seeing a lot more specialty e-commerce retailers that specialize in a category and or a specific product. So an example of that, let's use like the baby example, where we might start specializing down the road in baby items, but we will come up with a maybe a separate domain under a separate name just to focus on the baby items. So where I think it is that you're going to see a lot more specialty online retailers, whether it's through eBay, their own e-commerce, or both. And with the vaccine coming out, it's amazing, but I think we have to be realistic of the time frame where things are even going to start to get back to normal. And I can't speak for other people, but I know I've limited my when I go to a retail store, to a Target now, just to limit my exposure, for the social distancing and stuff of that sort. And I'm personally buying a lot more stuff online, and stuff that I never purchased before. Where I think the other half of that is going to go is expedited shipping. I think that, consumers have no patience. I know I don't. And if I want something, I want it today. And I kind of call that, the true Amazon effect of where, if I order this and I need it, can I get it in my house today? So I think that is going to be the real big next phase of people outside of Amazon, where there's going to be same day shipping that can be delivered, same day to your house from other people as well, outside of the shipped and stuff of that sort.
Yeah, we certainly live in the world of instant gratification.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks to social media, thanks to e-commerce, and just the way our world is evolving.
Sure.
When we were kids, you'd order something in the mail and maybe it comes in a week or longer.
Oh,
not anymore.
Checking the mailbox every day.
That's right.
So to what you brought up earlier, man, when I used to, growing up in a tiny town, it was kind of hard to get my baseball cards. So when I would, save up my allowance money and send off and, to the big city of Memphis or wherever it was, to the card store, I would go check the mailbox every day, of course. Yeah.
All right. For my next, and we're getting close to the end of our conversation, Randy, but for my next two questions, I have to tell the audience that Randy is a proud graduate of the University of Alabama and follows
absolutely
the Crimson Tide very closely. I need two things. I need a prediction of the championship, SEC championship game, and who's your Heisman Trophy winner?
So the Heisman one, that's easy. Mac Jones, hands down. Now, if we could break it up and give it to Mac and the receiving core, and I wish we could, but I think you got to give it to Mac Jones. Devontae a close second, with Najee, a close second and a half. But all right, but my score, I think the score is going to be 35-17.
Guys, you heard it here first, but Randy didn't say who was going to win the game.
Well, I didn't think that was necessary. I think Alabama, you can book it. You can send all your money off to Vegas. But if you win, you can thank me. If you lose, I'm just a normal guy. I don't know anything out of the ordinary.
Awesome. Well, Randy, thank you for sharing about Dog Liquidation, about e-commerce and all the great things you guys are doing. And again, I put the website link in the show notes. If there is a link to the eBay store, I'll find that and we'll put that in the show notes. But thank you, bud, for sharing about
thank you.
What you're doing.
Thank you. And one thing I will say, thank you for having us. You do a great job with this. I watched the other ones. They're interesting. And one service that we also offer is if you happen to be looking for a product that may be a little higher end, looking for a better price, reach out to us.
Excellent.
We have a lot of avenues that we can search for a product for you. So, but
that's
Bernard,
great
thanks
to
so
know.
much. Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And Randy, last thing, can people reach you through the website, or is there
Yeah.
an email, or how would you like folks to reach out?
Just go to the website, 3dogliquidation.com. It says, coming soon, but by Friday there will be the link to our eBay store on there, but it also has all of the contact information as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Good stuff today, guys. Thank you again, Randy. Thank you for the audience, whether you're watching this live or later on, as we try to do NOMBERG Law Live every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. We've got shows all the way through the end of the month, including a rare appearance by my brother and business partner, David. We're going to do a year.
Tune in for that one. That
right.
one's going to get huge ratings.
It always does. Guys, have a great rest of your week. Be safe. Take care.